Hello and welcome to the FatBoss Guide to Portal Keeper Hasabel on Mythic in Antorus, the Burning Throne.
Yes, this fight will feel very similar to most of your raid, as most of the new mechanics that have been added are dealt with by a maximum of 3 people. Portal Keeper herself doesn't really have any new abilities, everything just hurts more. Instead, the main focus on Mythic is dealing with more challenging platforms, whilst also ensuring the adds downstairs are kept under control.
So the platform mini-bosses have had some changes made to them. The fire mini-boss has a 3-stack 90% damage reduction debuff when it spawns. This debuff is permanent, and the only way to remove it is by using the poison puddles from the green platform. Running into a green puddle will give you a 20-second dispellable dot. When this times out or is dispelled, you'll do a burst of damage to anyone within your circle, whilst also removing a stack of the fire mini-boss's damage reduction if he is within the circle. So before the fire platform activates and the mini-boss spawns, usually around the 94% health mark, you'll want to send 3 players up onto the green platform, collect a poison debuff, and then they'll need to run over towards the fire platform and explode their debuffs in range of the mini-boss to remove his damage reduction. To prevent the poison explosion from hitting absolutely everyone as well as the boss, the rest of the players on the platform should stick to one side of him, giving plenty of space for the poison players to move to the opposite side. Also, to help with the damage that is going on top of these poison players, they should try and pick up the debuffs in a staggered fashion. That way, when they do reach the fire mini-boss, they can drop them also in a staggered fashion instead of dropping them all at the exact same time and all taking the splash damage. The players assigned to carry the debuff should be mobile classes with good damage reduction cooldowns such as rogues or demon hunters, but it's also good to assign the healer that's dealing with the fire platform to also be one of the people to go and gain the debuff, as this will allow them to keep the debuff players healthy as they run from one platform to another. After the damage reduction debuff has been completely removed from the fire boss, you simply just do what you did on Heroic by interrupting his casts and moving from the AoE on the ground. DPS should save their cooldowns for every single one of these platforms just to make sure that the mini-boss dies as soon as possible, not just to help lower the ticking damage from the portal downstairs, but also allow the tanks to reunite and swap for their tank debuff. Boss damage in this encounter is pretty much irrelevant. The enrage is 12 minutes long, there is absolutely no way you'll ever reach it, so it's vital that all DPS goes into the mini-bosses as well as the imps, so you need to find a balance for it. You want to send as many DPS up as possible, but you will need to find a balance because if you send too many, the imps simply aren't going to die, and just a single cast from an imp or a shadow dog later on in the fight can easily wipe the downstairs group, especially when comboed with damage from another ability like a tank explosion or a collapsing world, so that is something that you're going to have to work out yourself. As a rough guideline, we'd recommend 5 to 6 DPS as well as the remaining tank and the remaining healers to stay down to deal with the adds, while everyone else goes up to deal with a mini-boss.
Now, the change to the green mini-boss is that her poison essence has been upgraded to the leech essence. This makes it deal more damage, but most importantly, this damage will now heal her, and this heals for an absolute shit ton. Unless you have a crazy amount of cooldowns and have great gear, you will not be able to outdamage the heal she receives from this leech essence. So to prevent her from healing, you need to go and pick up the debuff from the shadow platform. At the back of the platform, you can run into these purple puddles, which will give you a 50% healing reduction debuff for 30 seconds. When this is dispelled or when it times out, you will explode, dealing damage and applying 100% healing reduction to anything within 8 yards for 20 seconds. So you want to have a player pick up the debuff and move over to the green platform as the mini-boss spawns. You can then dispel that debuff next to her, whilst making sure that the rest of the group is out of the way of the explosion so that the debuff doesn't splash onto them. This will then make her immune to healing, allowing you to kill her off. Now, if you do have enough damage, it is possible to kill her only using one of these debuffs. However, on first kills, this isn't particularly likely. Instead, you should have 2 players gather the debuff, one after another, with around a 10 to 15 second gap between each other. We recommend having the first player go and grab the first debuff at around 64% boss HP so that they can be on the green platform at the same time as the rest of the team that goes up there. The second player then just needs to leave around 10 seconds later so that they can be dispelled next to the mini-boss if you need it. Aside from this leeching essence change, the mini-boss is the same. You want to be stacked up underneath the mini-boss to help with AoE healing, whilst also allowing you to quickly kill off any of the fell silk wraps. If your healer does happen to struggle keeping people alive with the increased damage from leeching essence, you may want to bring 2 healers up rather than 1.
Now, the Shadow mini-boss is actually exactly the same, has received no new mechanics whatsoever. Instead, he will just deal far more damage than what he did on Heroic. You should save all damage cooldowns, second potions and bloodlust and just nuke the living shit out of this guy before his damage gets out of control. You do not need the fire from the fire platform whatsoever, just make sure that everyone is stacked directly underneath him so your healer can keep in range of everyone. Just like the previous platform, you may want to send another healer up here just to ensure everyone stays alive, but providing it dies quick, you only need 1. Once that mini-boss is dead, you head downstairs, and you simply just finish off the fight. Do note from this point onwards, you do have 3 portals all ticking on the raid at the exact same time, but providing all your healers are alive, it's not really too difficult to deal with.
So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you want to know more about this encounter or just have some handy notes to refer to during your raid, then do go check out our written work over on Wowhead. The link for that can be found in the description below. And before we do go, we want to say a big thank you to all of the supporters you can see on screen now who help us over on Patreon. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your continued support. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.